Hello viewers, welcome back to yet another episode of Plan B with Anthony Kirori. Happy New Year! We hope you enjoyed your festivities and the new year is looking good on your part. So today we are going to look into matters security. And on that note, Abraham Kithure Kindiki, professor, is a man with a difficult task ahead of him. Even before we could sort out the mess in the border sector, we are experiencing banditry attacks in some of the areas in this country, that is Samburu, Elgeyo Marakwet, Baringo, and Wajir. So what do we need to do to avert all this mess? Over and above talking tough, what extras do the government need to do to make sure we're having a safe haven in these areas? So Anthony,
yes, sir.
What is the plan B?
Thank you, Mr. Wanjohi, and Happy New Year. To our viewers, Happy New Year. This is the plan B on improving security in Kenya. Welcome. Now, Mr. Wanjohi, as we start, it is good to point out that not everyone who is in prison because they were born criminals. A good number of people are there because they're not able to get employment opportunities. Therefore, they got frustrated, they got depressed, and because they could not fend for themselves and their families, they went into a life of crime. And in the process, some of them got caught, and that's where they're in prison. So if these people had gotten gainful employment, they could not have gone into a life of crime. Therefore, one of the best ways of reducing crime is making sure that their employment, the government provides a conducive atmosphere for employment opportunities to be created in Kenya. And at the same time, as Kenyans, we should buy Kenyan-made products, what we call Buy Kenya, Build Kenya. Let me give you a practical example. Hyundai is one of the big car manufacturers in the world. But do you know, at the very beginning, they took the Cortina, an old line of Cortina from one of the countries in Europe, and a discarded line, and that became the very first generation of Hyundais. Much as it was an old car, the people in South Korea bought those cars in great quantities. I believe the second one was the Mitsubishi. A discarded line of Mitsubishi, Hyundai guys got the line, started making the cars, and people in South Korea, they didn't care about driving old cars, but they took pride in, this is ours. Now it is one of the biggest manufacturing companies in the world. Likewise, even here in Kenya, let's embrace Kenyan-made products made by Kenyan companies. In the future, they'll grow to become big companies, employing who? Us Kenyans, mostly. And at the end of the day, we'll improve our quality of life, and that, in the process, reduce social ills like crime, prostitution, and other social vices. Now, back to what we are discussing. In Isiolo, Marsabit, West Pokot, and all those areas you mentioned, it is true there's a lot of banditry, a lot of livestock theft, cattle rustling and all that. People from one village will go attack another village to go and steal cows. In the process, this village will revenge on another village, and it becomes like a musical chair. So what's the best way of stopping this? The security forces, police and the military, they need to know in advance when people are leaving village A to go to attack village B, or when people are leaving village B to go to village A or village C or whichever other village it is. Now, how will they be able to know that? Considering the area is vast and there's a lot of forest cover. It is very simple. A wise man once said, forewarned is forearmed. So the security operators need to know in advance. And the only way to do this, or one of the best ways to do this, is by using drones. Drones, we can have the surveillance drones fitted with night vision cameras, infrared thermal imaging cameras, or an array of parallel synthetic aperture aerial imaging devices. Once they are fitted, you will not be able to hide in the forest. And the cameras will be able to detect you. Therefore, if the drone is within a certain grid, people living village A going to another village, they'll be able to see these people have left at this time, going in that particular direction, and they don't even have cows. So why are they getting into the forest? And then if they go up to the border or near the other village, waiting for a specific time, it will have given enough time for the security apparatus to know that many people have left village A going in this particular direction. So they'll have a choice either to prepare to receive them, so to speak, at the next village, or they can even get into the forest and confront them, whichever they decide is best. Apart from the drones being useful in areas like that, they're also useful in many other areas. For instance, like at border patrol. Our border is vast and it's porous. But with drones, a number of drones, we can be able to man it. So the security forces will be able to tell when people are coming from other countries into our country using illegal routes, what we call panya routes. At the same time, there are some people who come and put IEDs, these improvised explosive devices, on the road. Now, they'll do this maybe far away from human settlements. So if a drone is on that road, is patrolling that road, it will see a number of people, and you see them from quite far. They are coming over, so there'll be a lot of time. And instead of waiting for a bus or a truck, they'll dig or do whatever they are doing and then leave. So the drone will be able to inform the security forces of the specific location. And two, it can also follow those people where they are going for them to be intercepted. So that would help. Now, let's come closer home. Like here in Juja, especially Juja Farm, many houses have been attacked at night. So if drones are deployed in that area, they'll be able to see there are 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10 people outside a specific house or specific houses at night. What a group of people, 10, 11 p.m. doing, or 3 a.m. doing outside. So most likely there'll be no good motive to that. So if a drone is there, it will be able to see. Security forces are informed. They inform the Nyumba Kumi people, and neighbors are alerted, or the security guys can come and even capture them even before they attack. And then worst case scenario, if a house is attacked, and then the siren is rung, drones normally move very fast, about 130 kilometers per hour. So it can be deployed to that particular house. When the thieves leave, it can follow them to where they are going. So even if they'll have stolen, it can follow them either up to where they'll be captured or where they'll be going home, and then they are arrested. So there are multiple advantages of using the drones. Now, the second point is this in cattle rustling areas. They are stealing cows so that one can have more cows. But now, suppose the government helps the farmers, the owners of the cows, to put a GPRS tracking on the cows, or to put a microchip in the cow. And don't put in all of them. You ever heard of 100? Put in 5, 10 cows. Now, the people who are coming to steal will not know which 5 or 10 have the GPRS or the microchip embedded in them. So when you steal, that cow will be able to tell through GPRS or the microchip, you'll be able to tell exactly where it has gone. So 2 things need to happen. 1, government to help farmers to put the GPRS or the microchips in the cows. 2, they need to come up with a law whereby if somebody steals cows and then brings them to us, maybe us, we are the ones who are grazing, so to speak, and then they leave them with us to graze, and you know very well they've gone to steal other cows. If we are caught with those cows, their cows, plus our cows, should be confiscated by government, and then either returned to the rightful owners, the extra cows to be sold, proceeds given to the people where they were stolen from. Another thing also, assuming we are neighbors, and then one of the neighbors, or I come with more cows, and you know very well those cows have been stolen, then the government should come with a reward scheme whereby if you inform the security operator that my neighbor had 50 cows, all of a sudden he's got 200 cows. Where did the extra come from? If they come and they find it is true that the cows were stolen, whatever I had before should be taken by government. Of course, the original cows to be taken back to, the stolen cows to be taken back to the owners. These other cows sold, 50% of the proceeds to be given to you. What will happen? I'll police you, you'll police me. I'll be scared, even if I have the ability of stealing, I'll be scared. Suppose you report me. If you have the ability of stealing, you'll be scared. Suppose I report you. So that can also help. So I believe those 2, the drones and the GPRS on tracking, will sort out the issue of cattle rustling, and drones will even go further from border patrols, roads, and burglaries, many other, basically the whole country. Now, you also mentioned the issue of boda boda. The reason why boda bodas are big menace is because it's very hard to identify them. And the number plates, most boda bodas, when you're meeting them, you rarely see the number plate on the front, and the plate at the back is very small, not easy to identify. So what needs to be done? I'm proposing a very simple solution. There are 47 counties in Kenya. So Nairobi, it's N, Kiambu starts with a K. So for instance, let's say Kiambu County. So all boda bodas to start with K. And then in Juja constituency, let's say Juja is constituency number 2 in the county. So K2. So anybody within Kiambu sees K2, they know that is from Juja. There are about 10,000 boda bodas in Juja. So K2 will be Kiambu, 2 is Juja, and then starts from 1, K2, dash 1 up to K2 dash 9,999 or 10,000. So you'll have like K2, one will know this is for Juja. But however, there are many counties that start with the same letter. Nairobi, Nyeri, Kiambu, Kajiado, Kakamega, among others. So what can happen in such cases, we can have color codes. Maybe Juja takes red, Kajiado takes blue, another Kakamega takes green, even if it's a bit further from these two. Nairobi and Nyeri, they have different colors. So when you see a different color, a specific color, for instance, if you're in Juja and ours is K2, and the boda from Kajiado or Kakamega comes here, it's also K2, we'll be able to know it's not from here because of the color of the identification plate. So anybody who sees that will be able to know that this particular boda, number 6,857, if it has done something bad, it will be able to trace it to the owner. Now, this, for them to be easily identifiable, normally above the headlight of the boda, up there where they normally put the guard, the screen guard, that's where the first plate should be, and then another one above the number plate. And it should be big enough to be noticeable from far. If that does not work, we've noticed when it rains, they normally put umbrellas. Then, if putting that will not work, then for security reasons, they can be compelled to have that umbrella shade on top with the number plate on top. That way, they'll be identifiable everywhere. Another thing that needs to be done with the bodas. For instance, let's say I'm riding K2 3,657. That's my boda. And I want to go to Thika or Ruiru, wherever it is. An app should be created such that before I start, because I'm coming from my normal area of jurisdiction, my normal area of operation, I log into the app and I say I'm leaving Juja and I'm going to Makongeni in Thika. Now, when I get into Thika, people will be able to identify quickly that that is K2. Maybe Thika is K3 or whatever number it will be. They know this is not one of our own. So if I'm in Thika, or someone is in Thika and is interested to know, is this person, is he on a legit work? You just press the number you've seen on the app, and then it will show you it's en route to Makongeni. In case they press and they see that number is not logged to go to Makongeni or anywhere within Thika, then they can raise an alarm. We've seen a boda, this is the serial number, or this is the identification number, but we can't tell where it is going. And I've seen it on this particular road. Then the security apparatus can start finding out where it is going. Therefore, any boda that does not have an identification number, a visible identification number, will obviously attract attention to itself. And then if you're going to have your area of jurisdiction, your area of normal operation, then you'll need to log in to the app so that people can get to know where you're going. Anyone can be able to identify. Ladies and gentlemen, what is the plan B of improving security? As I said at the beginning, the government needs to come up with more ways of helping create more job opportunities for Kenyans. And as Kenyans, we need to embrace Buy Kenya, Build Kenya far much more than we are doing at the moment. The government also needs to use drones. At the same time, help farmers to put GPS tracking or microchips in some of their livestock, and also come up with a way of identifying bodas per county, per constituency, and also come up with an app whereby when a boda rider is leaving their normal area of operation to go to another area, they can log onto that particular app so that the people in that area, when they see this new boda, this foreign boda, they can know that is on legit mission. That is the plan B with Anthony Kirori. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anthony, for your insightful thoughts on how to improve security in this country. Guys, let us keep engaging on our comment section. Remember to subscribe, comment, and share. See you next time.